Hey everybody, welcome back. It is Asmodai, and here I am doing some of the new Deathwing Knights from the Deathwing Assault Box. Let's get right into it. So, I am starting on off with the Deathwing Sergeant here. I really just want to say this, the new minis coming out for 10th edition, especially these new Dark Angels Terminators, are really amazing. Some of their best sculpts they have had. The models are absolutely just gorgeous. So going on in with a nice just bone white for most of the panels, doing a couple of thin coats here. We'll get them all covered on up, and I will procedurally do this to the other ones as well, mainly just focusing on the Sergeant. And of course, being a little sloppy here in the beginning, I really don't mind touching up everything. With these kind of Deathwing Knights, I like to make them look like they've trudged through a couple of battlefields here and there, and just kind of getting that nice engine grease color or dirt color onto them always helps on out, and being a little sloppy is totally fine. Now, I will try to be a little careful around the crux terminalis up here on his shoulder. But at least I'll be a lot gentler around his shoulder crux up there, because I want to keep those nice black shades down there, and I really don't want to have to worry about trying to re-hit it with some thick layers of Nuln. Did a pretty thick layer here for the head, mainly just I really don't want to have to worry about doing like thousands of layers on the faceplate, so I did kind of one thicker coating, just to make it a little bit easier to get all those nooks and crannies. The one thing I will say I really do like about this bone color that I chose is that it's very easy to put on. It's not like a good old Citadel base color where it just takes forever to either get a thin coat or it's too thinned out and it basically acts like a glaze. I am very happy with this layer. And now I'm going on through doing some of the second layers, and we'll get him all going. Now, you don't always have to do thousands of little thin layers. If you're dealing with a white base paint, like white scars, the bone white panoply of Deathwing, the white on Eldari, the white on Tau, you probably want to do thinner undercoats. You could have based the mini in like white scar or gray seer or any kind of white primer or gray primer to make your job a little bit easier. I chose black to kind of show you that it is easy to get a nice consistent coat. You just need to do a couple of thin coats with that color. I also chose black priming just because it keeps those nice shades and shadows, some little nooks and crannies that I don't really have to worry too much about getting. So as we're finishing up here, we're just doing some of those secondary coatings and layers, just going back through, making sure to get the hands, the fists, and all the little undersides. Sometimes it's hard to kind of get the mini in the right angle to show you on camera, so if it looks a little jump cutty, I'm just doing my best to give you a better experience. Yep, so just going on through, getting that nice kind of butter look going on. The sepia mixture that I have mixed up will give that really nice, like, aged bone look. Alright, so we have finished the bone. I went ahead and did the other four off screen just because painting bone probably gets pretty old. Here I am getting my paints out onto my wet palette. Colors I'm choosing here are good old Caliban green, And then I will be using a bit of Warpstone Glow just for doing some highlights. I could doing a final highlight in Moot, but I'm not doing fully rendered highlights here. Just nice gradients to show folds and clothing. If I was doing a green power armored Dark Angels, I probably would be using Moot or Snarstick Green for my highest points. But for the moment, I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a glazing technique of just kind of watering down a bit of Moot and a bit of Caliban when I do their highlights here. Also, just getting the green onto the other minis here. Conveniently, or maybe nicely, a lot of these Terminators don't have a whole heck of a lot of green on them, so it's not a huge step. It goes by pretty quick. Mainly covering the outside of their armor and bone is just a little infuriating. So yep, just taking some Warpstone. I'm putting down a thicker layer right now, and then I'll blend it on out here in a bit. The camera does make it look a little bit brighter than it does in actuality, but it gives kind of the folds in the clothing a nice little pop to them. And any area I might get a little green onto, I went ahead and covered those on up. And then going ahead doing a little top highlight here, and then I'll blend them on back. Like I said, the blending technique I used was a kind of nice little glazing technique. It's not the best, not going for any supreme detail here. Just enough to make it look nice and crisp and give it some good definition. Alrighty then, now with my Terminators, I have really been liking doing some fluorescent orange eyes. The red of like standard Space Marines glasses are okay, but the fluorescent orange with the bone color really just gives a nice subtle pop, and it just looks great. So after doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the red parts. Main colors of Deathwing are of course red and bone. So lots of the lion's sword and angel's wings will be outlined and done in red, and I'll also do the little heraldry knight plate up there in the shoulder. But yeah, just getting the red onto the right places, and we'll move on from there. One thing I want to say here, thank you all who have subscribed and are watching my content. Sorry I took a little bit of a week off, just had some stuff going on. We'll have a couple of videos coming out kind of rapid fire here in a bit. Next video after this one, we'll be doing our channel mascot, because he is freshly new and released, so gotta make sure he's all ready to go. See, as we there, we got his little knight plate in the front done, and I'm also going to do the red on all the other ones too, and also get their shields done. Alright, so we have finished up the red on the other Deathwing, and they are all finished. And here I'm going to start doing the final details. One thing with Deathwing is all of their little cordage that holds on their emblems and incense holders and around their belts are all this kind of nice maroon. So I'm going to go ahead and paint those on here, and then I'll start doing the gold accents. The gold accents are all done in Retributor, and the nice maroon is a kind of 2-to-1 mix of Cantor and Mephiston Red. Cantor Blue and Mephiston Red. It gives a really nice coat. Because these are the finer details, I'm trying to be as careful as possible. I will still just every once in a while slip up, and those are places that I'll go back and just recover on up. The thing I do like about these Deathwing Knights is that they have their gold little like faceplate, and they actually look like knights. Like they look like Grey Knights helmets, and this is something that I've wanted for Terminators for a while. I have a lot of old Gen 1, or I shouldn't say Gen 1, but like the 9th edition, 8th edition Deathwing Terminators. And they have the kind of smushed in Terminator helmet, which is not my favorite. But these Deathwing Knight helmets are freaking awesome. So here I'm just putting the gold onto the sword, and we will go ahead and finish up some of the finer details. I say thank you for watching this, and let's get into the beauty shots. If you are not already a subscriber, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see more content like this. I am going to be doing more kit bashing in the future and just building up my army right now as it is. The next video we will be doing will be on Asmodai. Stay tuned for that. That should be out hopefully next week. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Also, repent.